Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this session, we are going to start with your next service, which is EC2. Now, this is one of the very important service that we have in AWS, and this is also one of the very widely used service in AWS. So, if you're looking for a job change or if you're planning for your interview, EC2 should be one of the top service that you should be preparing. So we are going to look at this service in this session. Now your EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. Now EC2 is used to launch your servers in the AWS. So it helps you to launch virtual machines in the cloud. So you can launch Linux virtual machines, Windows virtual machines, Red Hat, Ubuntu, CentOS, SUSE. So lots of options are available that you can use to launch your virtual machines. So EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. It is a web service that helps you to provide resizable computing capacity, literally servers in the Amazon's data center that you can use to build and host your software systems. So this EC2 helps you to provide computing capacity like your storage, RAM, processor, all those things that you can use to launch your virtual machines, and inside those virtual machines you can start running your applications. Now, why do we need EC2? It helps you to eliminate your need to invest in hardware upfront. So by using this EC2, you don't have to invest in any hardware components, you don't have to buy anything, so you don't there's no investment needed when you're working with your EC2. So you can develop and deploy your applications faster. You can use EC2 to launch as many or as few servers as you need, configure security and networking, and manage storage. With EC2, you can launch any number of servers you need, or whatever capacity you need, you can achieve it by using your EC2. Now there are multiple ways, similar to how we saw in your IAM. EC2 also provides you options of accessing it from the console, CLI, APIs, and SDK. So you can use the online application, you can use the command line tool, you can use software development kits, and you can also use API calls. Now, Amazon EC2 enables you to scale up or down to handle changes in requirements or spikes in popularity, reducing your need to forecast the traffic. So, like I said, EC2 helps you to launch any number of servers you need at any point of time. Depending on your requirement, you can start launching your EC2 instances. Now let's look at some of the features of your EC2. So your virtual computing environment are known as your instances. So all the virtual machines that you're going to launch are known as your instances. It also gives you pre-configured templates for your instances known as AMIs that package the bits you need for your server. So you have pre-written AMIs or pre-configured templates that you can choose to launch your servers. Various configurations of CPU, memory, storage, and networking capacity for your instances known as instance types. So we have something known as instance types that has a variety of your CPU configuration, memory, storage, and networking capacity that you can choose for your EC2 instances. It also provides you secure login information for your instances using key pairs. So to protect your instances, you have an option to choose key pairs that allows you to secure your login information, and you have multiple physical locations for your resources such as instances and storage known as regions and availability zones. I have already covered regions and availability zone in my earlier video. So if you go through my playlist, you should be able to get information about regions and availability zones. So EC2 also provides you the option of choosing between the availability zones, which location you want to utilize to launch your EC2 instances. Now coming to your EC2 dashboard, so your EC2 is available under your compute section. So this is my EC2. So when you open up your EC2, this is what you will see. Now this is the dashboard of your EC2. This will give you information like how many instances you are running, what is the volume you have, how many key pairs you have, how many load balancers you have. So we will be looking at this as we move on. So we have many things to cover under this. then you have your security group. So all these options will be available under this dashboard. So the first thing we are going to look at is your events. Now this gives you information about events that may include operational activities planned by AWS, such as instance reboots or retirements. So under this, events is utilized by Amazon to notify you of any task that Amazon has planned, like operational activities or any instance reboots or any retirements of the instances. Then you have the tags. So tags are your additional information. So all the tags that you create for your EC2 will be stored under this, and you can use this to manage your tags. Then you have the reports. Now EC2 reports provides you the detailed usage or the billing data for your EC2 instances. This reports provides you with the insight into how you are using your Amazon EC2. So these reports will help you to understand how you are utilizing your EC2 instances. Now remember, under your free tier you are limited to 750 hours of EC2 instances, that is 750 hour running EC2 instances. This is per month, so every month you have a limitation of 750 hours. If you cross that limit, you'll be charged and you'll have to pay money. So this section can be utilized to see how you are using your EC2, how much you have consumed from the 750 hours. All that informations can be seen in this report. So let's look at an example. So this is my EC2 instance usage report. So this will show me per month data, how much I have utilized, all that information. So this is for my January month. So for the month of January, so this is from the cost perspective. So I have been charged $1.92. This is for my February month, this is for my March month. So likewise, and it also tells you what type of instance type you have utilized. I'll be talking about this later on. So here also you have the cost, what is the cost, how much you have utilized and all. Now so this is the cost usage, how much you have been charged per month and for which instance type. All that information you can get it from here. Next thing you have is your limits. Now like I said, under your free tier you have limitations of how much you can utilize. So all those informations you can see under this limits. Now this is specifically for from your EC2 perspective. So Amazon EC2 provides different resources that you can use, such as instances and volumes. So when you create your AWS account, AWS sets limits for these resources on a per region basis. This page will list your EC2 service limits in this region. So I'm in this region and this will show me the limit for this particular region. So this is my limitations. So launch configuration, I'm limited to 200. Auto scaling groups, I'm limited to 200. Then if I look at the next one, so this is all 0. General purpose storage, I'm limited to 300. Then network load balances, I'm limited to 50. Elastic IPs, I'm limited to 5. VPCs, I'm limited to 5. So all these are my limitations. Now if you are crossing this limitation, you'll be charged and you'll have to pay money. So make sure that you are within this limitation, so you don't end up paying any money. So that's what we have under this. Next comes your instances. So what are your instances? Now instance is nothing but a virtual server in the cloud. So it's a virtual machine running in your AWS cloud. So after you launch an instance, it looks like a traditional host and you can interact with it as you would with any computer. So your virtual machine is nothing but a machine which looks similar to your any host machine, and you can interact with it and you can do anything you want, just like any other machines. So you have complete control of your instances. You can use sudo to run your commands that require root privileges, so anything basically. Now this is specifically for your Linux machine, so you can do anything you want within your Linux machines by using this sudo to run your root privilege commands. Next comes your pricing model. Now under EC2 instances we have something known as pricing model. Now this is important from your interview perspective. You can get questions like what are the different pricing models we have under EC2. So as of now, these we have 7 types of pricing model under your EC2 instances. Depending on the type you choose, accordingly you will be charged. Your cost may differ for these types. The first one we are going to look at is your on demand. So with your on demand instances, you pay for compute capacity by per hour or per second, depending on which instances you run. So on demand is your default one. So whenever you're going to launch your instances, it will be an on demand instance, and for this you will be charged by the hour or per second, depending on the instance type you're going to choose. Next we have your reserved instances. So now under reserved, you'll have to get into a contract for a period of 1 year or 3 year for a fixed capacity of EC2 instances, low cost per hour charges than on demand. So when compared to your on demand, reserved instances is cheaper, and the reserved instances also provides you with a significant discount, which is up to 75% compared to your on demand instance pricing. But under this, you'll have to get into a contract for a period of 1 or 3 years. So here is my reserved instances. So when you click on this, you have the option of purchasing the reserved instances. So when you click on purchase instances, you can choose your requirement. You can choose your platform, Windows, Red Hat, Linux, SUSE. You can choose your tenancy. Now tenancy, you'll have two options, default and dedicated. Now under default, what happens is the hardware will be shared among multiple users, and if you're going with dedicated, the hardware will be dedicated only for your usage, but you'll have to pay extra money for that. Then you have the offering class. So you get 3 options: any, convertible, standard, and these are the instance types. I'll be discussing this about this in the next video. Then comes your term. So you have the option of 1 year or 3 years, and then you can choose the payment option between no upfront, partial upfront, and all upfront, and click on search, and you should be able to see the list of available capacity. Choose your requirement, add it to your cart, make the payment, and your instances will be reserved for your usage. Next comes your spot instances. Now Amazon EC2 spot instances allow you to request spare Amazon EC2 computing capacity for up to 90% off the on-demand price. Now under spot instances, Amazon keeps all the spare EC2 instances that are not being utilized by anybody. So they also give you a discount of up to 90%, where you can go and get the instances. Then comes your dedicated host. So this is your spot request. So here you can go and select your spot instances. You can request for spot instances. You can choose your requirement. It is for load balancing or flexible workloads, or for big data, or it is for a defined duration. You can choose your template, like your operating systems, your instance types, or all your requirement, and this will be the final charge that you'll have to pay for this usage. 2 CPU, 3 GB RAM in one availability zone. So you'll be charged around $0.2023 per hour, and this gives you up to 72% saving compared to the on-demand instances. And then you have the dedicated. Now under dedicated host, what happens is a physical EC2 server is dedicated for your use only. By default, the servers are shared among multiple users, but if you go with dedicated host, the server is dedicated only for your usage and nobody can use it. Again, you'll have to pay extra money for this. So when you go to dedicated host, here you'll have the option of allocating a host for yourself. So you can click on allocate dedicated host, and Amazon will dedicate a physical server only for your usage. Then you have the scheduled instances. Under this, you can purchase instances that are always available on the specified recurring schedule for a period of 1 year. So again, under this you'll have to get into a contract for a period of 1 year, and under this your instances will be available for during a a recurring schedule. So when you go to this scheduled instances, you can purchase the scheduled instances. You can choose from when you want to start, for how long you want the instances. Minimum is 4 hours, and you can increase this whatever duration you want. And this is you want this to be available on a daily basis or a weekly basis or a monthly basis. You can choose your platform and click on find schedules. If there are any schedule available, you will see it here. Now for this settings we don't have anything, but if you find anything that you need, you can add it to the cart, and you'll have to make the payment and purchase it. Again, under this you'll have to get into a contract for a period of 1 year. Next, we have your saving plans. Now saving plans offers significant savings over your on demand in exchange for a commitment to use a specific amount of compute power for 1 or 3 year period. Again, under this you'll have to get into a contract of 1 year or 3 year, and under the saving plans you'll have to get into a commitment with Amazon, telling that you're going to use a consistent amount of resources for the contract period, which is 1 year or 3 years. And in return, Amazon gives you a discount, much better discount, that will help you to save you the money. And the last option we have under this is your capacity reservations. Now capacity reservations enable you to reserve capacity for your EC2 instances in a specific availability zone for any duration. Now this helps you to reserve the capacity that you can use later on when you're launching your EC2 instances. So here, when we go to your capacity reservations, you can choose your requirements. You can choose your instance type, your platform, availability zone, quantity, and then you can choose between manually or specific time. Manually means you will be cancelling the reservation. Specific time means you can specify a duration, and after that duration, if you're not utilizing it, it will be cancelled automatically. So these are your different pricing models that we have for your EC2 instances. That's all for this video. In the next session, we will be talking about your instances, what are the steps we have in launching your instances. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. If you have any feedback, please leave it in the comments section, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.